What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review a 2018 mixtape by DaBaby. Based this product is called Blank Blank, and it came out in the fall of 2018. Now within the fares about here, this particular product within the pitches behind it, this particular mixtape within pitches behind it was the primer and preemptive type product to DaBaby's debut album, Baby on Baby, as far as these first albums. Accent type pitches, DaBaby bass. DaBaby definitely dominated 2019 pretty heavily within pitches like that. He dropped 2 albums that year, so it was pretty good flares within the pitch as far as talking about that particular variety about it. He is definitely... I have reviewed another DaBaby project. There's actually 3 of these within the next good while that have surfaced on this channel as far as these pitches I have, but one of which is not going to surface until later in the winter as far as these first albums. So it is coming soon enough, but not right away within these pitches. So it's kind of fair. This one's going to happen in mid-late. This one's going to happen in late January, pitches like that. But it's the ordeal as far as saying within these products here, as far as talking about me getting towards some of these type ones. Nowadays, it kind of feels like DaBaby was kind of more or less like a pandemic rapper. I definitely said that back in like the summer of 2025 when I reviewed that other DaBaby product that I reviewed. But it's kind of the pitch. The more that time has passed, DaBaby was definitely popular between probably about like second half of 2018 to about the first half of 2021. About the first half of 2021 or so, pitches like that. Now, it's within the ordeal as far as saying the commonplace about what particularly happened. He did drop a series of albums, pitches like that within those type of ordeals. This is another thing I said in a previous review. Originally, I thought that DaBaby was kind of seen as like an industry plant within some of these pitches, but he actually did have a pretty prolific on a mixtape grind amidst these pairs. It's kind of the conduct that he had dropped a number of these. This particular mixtape, Blank Blank, was actually one that you could download within the aspect. Good, excellent fares about that, but it's kind of pitch as far as saying it definitely appears to be one of the more and almost, I would almost say, most recent kind of mixtapes within the product of being able to pick it up off of DatPiff pitches like that. Now, within those fares, things started to kind of not be as prominent within those commonplaces, like Lil Wayne when he dropped No Ceilings 3. That was available on DatPiff back in the day, but this wasn't available. For some strange reason, you couldn't download it off of DatPiff. I remember that bothered me back in those days, but you can find No Ceilings 3 on like certified mixtapes and those type of pairs. But it's kind of pitch as far as saying it's been paying attention to some of these type of varieties here within these pitches as far as paying attention towards it. The aspect as far as talking about blank blank within these aspects, it's a good type player being able to get towards it. These are some of these type ones as DaBaby started to cross over, and it's like, yep, he's putting out some albums, fairs like that. So it's kind of pitch as far as saying there are some songs off this mixtape that are no longer available, like one of which, at least Best Friend, is still on this mixtape, which is dope within those pitches. That's on the Baby on Baby album from 2019, winter 2019 was the pitch as far as talking about. It's a pitch as far as talking about one of the singles off this mixtape, and also the Baby on Baby album was Walker Texas Ranger, which is not on here, which I think probably just because of the fact that it was a pretty solid enough single off that product. Now that's a product that I reviewed. I did review Baby on Baby. That's going to surface, like I was saying, later within these pitches. So I don't remember as much that full bound particular song, but I'm just going to talk about 8 songs. There's 10 songs on this mixtape. I'm going to talk about 8 of them within these pitches. The 2 songs, they're on the Baby on Baby album, which is Walker Texas Ranger, which was not on the mixtape that I was able to download, and then like Best Friend, which is already on Baby on Baby. I'm not going to talk about those. I'm going to talk about 8 out of the 10, but basically I get the feeling I do fuck with Best Friend from listening to that song again within those fairs. Good, dope song pitches like that, but I probably would say I'd recommend Walker Texas Ranger as well, considering I recommended every song off of Baby on Baby when I reviewed that. So the spoilers for that, when that review eventually surfaces, that album's going to get a 10 out of 10. But just in the pitch as far as saying paying attention to the product here, 8 out of 8 in terms of the exclusive songs of this product. So yeah, 10 out of 10 mixtape, some stuff here. It's real classic type of appeal. Has some good products about some of these type ones within pitch as far as talking about it. Just the variety, getting towards some of these neighborhood type ones. This barely feels like it should be a mixtape within the aspects, considering the factoid that this is basically 2020s trap and late 2010s trap. So it's kind of pitch. For the most part, most folks by this particular stage had grafted to more like album type formats. When you think of like folks like Moneybagg Yo, Lil Baby, Gunna, some of these type folks, Travis Scott, all these particular type folks, Migos, definitely, they were all putting out albums by this particular stage. So it's just kind of the format that this really feels like a steal as far as the aspects that happen within this variety being like something that just is, you know, playing his day, free to fuck with as far as this person happens. Definitely some good type players, just the pitches, bite-sized type players. These songs do have the variety. These have some thump about them. There's some ones like Beeper, and there's some ones on here like Beeper, Millie, and Next Song. Some of these type fairs that kind of have like the aspect of dislike, some good kind of carnage about them within the aspect of dislike, good fairs. It's kind of amidst the aspect. The thing about this particular album is within the pitch. Now you're not going to find like a real club snarl on here. Some of these type pitches, when you think of like the Kirk album, like some of those type ones, like You know, obviously within, I don't remember Suge because I have not purchased that album yet within these pitches. Some of those have ones, the tones off of some of the tunes that were bopping off of Baby on Baby and the Kirk album, some of those type fares. But it is just kind of the pitch as far as saying that this album just has like some good, or this mixtape kind of, this album has like some good, excellent neighborhood weavings within these aspects. So it's kind of more within the Taco Bell type variety pitches like that. Just paying attention to some of these type fares, along with some makeshift kind of drifting pitches like that. Miss these ordeals to just get it in, like figuring out some dames to spoil pitches like that, picking up like standard fares, getting like standard products and varieties within the aspects of just talking about like Star Crunch and some of those type varieties with the aspect, just good type fares, just neighborhood type things, zebra cakes, and so tons of fish, just extra type products in the aspect, just curricular type fares, but it's kind of a fill-up type album within the pitch as far as saying just the aspect, it's vehicle-centric with the aspect as far as talking about, but it's this kind of pitch as far as saying just kind of pit stop type noise within the pitch as far as talking about some of these type ones. It's just kind of the variety of just listening to a mixtape, but supposing you have a vehicle that's probably better than just like a hoopty or something like that. It's just kind of the fair as far as talking about within the variety kind of amongst it. It has like the relative Zaz type factor, which is a good type variety as far as paying attention to mixtapes around that particular time. Some of the glam factor as far as talking about late 2010s within those varieties as far as the pitch kind of happens. Just the factoid. It's definitely pretty dope that DaBaby went out on a limb to showcase like particular free type music. Then the aspect as far as getting towards some flares that just kind of have like the tone of something that's pretty with the shit as far as like things that probably could have some solitary glam type factor on Instagram and fairs like that. So it's kind of pitch very underappreciated. Question like the variety, how much attention it caught in terms of like critique type fare back on YouTube back in those days, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying it's definitely within the aspect as far as talking about it's worth the investment. It's primary DaBaby, just being able to say on top of that. Primary DaBaby, just be able to say on top of that. But I'm going to get to this review as far as these pitch can have, just be able to say, just to be able to say the consistent spell, but just be able to say primary DaBaby, just some of these type pitches as far as talking about just the aspect of just like the way that trap music and Instagram songs that flares kind of were just 6, 7, 8 years ago, pitches like that within variety as far as talking about 2018, 2019, 2020, late 2010s, early pandemic years, some of that pitch, just a variety about some of those type aspects, just with the glam factor real high. So it's just good to go back and fuck with some of these, get some further type appreciation, because it felt like those eras kind of passed quicker within those tangents because everyone wanted to get past the pandemic, and now all of a sudden it's, 2025, 2026 pitches like that, so it's separate just a pitch behind. But just look after, recommend all 8 of these songs. So 21's the hit type ones, like a good dreary kind of commute and brush to kind of get within these products here. Just a favor run and blase, I would say here, pitch like that. So favor run for like the divas, pitch like that. Just pick up like some standard fares, get like some red hots and some cinnamon gum pitches like that. Some stuff fares pitches like that. It's kind of some Walmart extras, I would say here. Just kind of the tangent. It's kind of the tangent and the fare, just extra type fare about it. Just kind of within the product, not necessarily have to go to Walmart, but just for the hell of it, just kind of pitches. Just like some zigzagging around just with the pitch of just like extracurricular type activity, just kind of product of just something kind of within the fare, just fares like that. Just pick up like a box of Apple Jacks, just something gonna have in terms of more vehicle-wise type fashions. Just if you're going to have like some folks in the whip pitch like that, just have like a box of Apple Jacks to munch on if you don't feel like splurging a whole bunch of dough on like McDonald's or fares like that. Some of those places, Arby's, some of that context with it, just kind of fair box of Apple Jacks going to have with like a 7-Up, some of those fares with pitch like that. Just some fill-ups also along the way, just pitch like that. Now within the fare, if you already have like a full tank of gas, some of that asterisks and tons, just kind of pitch it, just getting like the tune-ups kind of taken care of within the pitch, just standard fare airs in the tires, some of these type pitches, just standard checkups with it. Not so much all day type thing where it's going to be like something where folks are going to be bored as hell in the whip pitch like that, but just kind of fair, just like the product of this simple kind of fine tunings within the aspect as far as just talking about just extra type fair, just like a kind of kind of more zigzag type days. So there's good weavings just in like neighborhood type track pitches like that. But there are some ones neighborhood bound pitches like that. 4X is one of those type ones, like an excellent kind of usual neighborhood trap fair to get. Just pick up Cheez-Its, some type products, things like that. Zigzags, envelopes, and like the pitch of talking about like this things like Cheez-Its, zigzags, envelopes, pitches like that. Some stuff fair is kind of mixing in like the product of recreational type fair with like the aspect of some get dones within pitch like that, not to fall behind pitch like that. The standard fairs of this product to just getting some shit done. Kind of good nice tune to chirp folks as well within pitch like that. Figure out where things are going to happen within these pitches. So it's just kind of It's kind of like a broiling and popping off type ones. Some of those typical type fares that DaBaby would kind of get. Just the aspect of this more mess hall type noise. Definitely Lil Baby's pretty good at these type ones as well. There's good pitches like some streetlight type buzz pitches like that. It's missed the aspect. Good tall bottle of Bacardi passed around. Since that pitches red cups going around pitch like that. Since that fares is zigzags and roaches out in the streets. Some of those type fares with this good type product about it. But definitely just the product saying, fuck it, I'm going to go pick up some Cheez-Its, pitches like that, so stuff ordeals, get some zigzags also along the way, and just being productive within like the steadfast type fair envelopes if necessary, or stamps on the products, whether or not it's open with the pitch. This feels like more evening shift type fair, so it's kind of pitch whether or not the post office would be open, but this kind of missed the product of this like early bird, just kind of late shift type spices, early bird to the evening, just kind of fairs it is something to kind of have pop off 4:30 pitch like that, just get those last tests taken care of, and then get like a cold Colt 45 in your hands pitch like that. Some of those type of ordeals. Next song is pretty carnivorous type one, just like 4X as well. It's like a stellar kind of trap pound to get here, just some vehicle carnage. I definitely say this is a real snappy type song with excellent type pitches. Get it? Just hotbox kind of heat, I'd say, within the quick variety about it. Just some street light kind of glared kind of mess hall type bop pitches like that. So just a missed arrangement, standard dap from pals, pass around the quesadillas pitches like that. Some stuff for deals. This typical kind of meme loud pack pitch like that. Just a variety of just like send off type noise and then pitch it. Just go and get crunk real loud pitch like that, but it's the snappy type song with excellent type pitches. Some of these definitely, I mean, the fair about this product is there's some ones just within this variety about it. There's at least a trio of these to kind of throw in within the product, so definitely throw in 4X with Blank Blank, the title track, and the next song. Some of these type fairs like the product, like some dap kind of commotion pitches like that amongst those fairs. Good type varieties about it. So yeah, Blank Blank is a hit type song as well as like a good neighborhood and block send off to get here. It goes pretty great with 4X, like I was saying, just basic kind of red hot prance and curb kind of gab pitch like that, just easily enough to have burritos around pitch like that. So this kind of missed the fair. It's kind of some of these type products, just the noise about it, this just kind of more localized type fashion, interesting type pitch. Get some of these type fairs, this DaBaby kind of on this more neighborhood wandering type noise pitch like that, especially because these are pretty sparked up within pitches. The glam factor about these are pretty loud. It's just the pitch. Yeah, it's not as much clubbing on this particular fair. It's not really like a club banger like Suge and some of those type ones, like Suge and Intro and Bop, some of those type singles off the 2019 DaBaby albums pitch like that, but it's not like these are anything to sneeze at within these fairs. It's kind of pitch as far as it's more varieties as far as just like round the block kind of aspects like that, just kind of roaches and zigzag leftovers pitch like that. Since that fair's been pitched, is good type varieties kind of get towards it. Just the product of this more residential type sparkage pitches like that within these fairs, but definitely the product is definitely chirping folks and pitches like that get towards the product of this, the standard commotion about it. Just good summer fried type, summer evening fried type flames pitches like that. Walmart runs and the like, I'd say pitch like that. Beeper is a hit type one. It's like a murky and good trap. Yeah, another quality one within these pitches would be Beeper. It's like a murky and good trap sound off to get here. Just Travis Scott style, I'd say. Just hollow real loud pitches like to be a good nice one to hollow real loud pitch like that. It's going down type vibes. Definitely have some vodkas getting towards as far as these pitches gonna happen. Beeper is definitely one for like some, definite sound off type noise pitches like that. I miss some of these type phrases, kind of pitch it, just like commotioning, kind of going pitch like that. Just a good kind of pop off type product within some of these type of pitches as far as the product's gonna happen. Definitely have multiple vodkas and folks' hands pitches like that. Since that first missed the products, so just getting towards the aspect of just like this the stellar kind of red skies typeness. So it just does in like a trap type format. Kind of feels like Tech 9 type variety. Once again, there's some interesting type fairs getting this from DaBaby within these pitches, kind of getting him more amidst like the fair just like kind of residential type sound off type product pitches like that. Just kind of fair, just like the get loud type noise and then pitches. So it's just kind of fair as far as saying some of these type ones. So just looking for more of something with red cup type varieties, kind of the pitch, just being able to pay attention. It is a good different angle to get within these fairs compared to some of like the more step out type noise. So kind of the pitch, if you're not as much in the full bound type mood to kind of go out and have to, if you're not as much in the full bound type mood to have to deal with patrons and clerks, some of those type fairs within aspects, for like the tone kind of happens within like the outing type social, just more that kind of has it within a kind of more not quite as fastidious type territory pitch like that. So it's kind of, I mean, it's simple enough within those pitches. The albums are kind of more outgoing, kind of more brick and mortar type spots, and the mixtapes kind of have more localized type territory pitches like that. But it's not as if these don't work in venue type bands. It's more pitch for getting the product about it, just for more low down type varieties pitches like that. But definitely throw in like some of those type varieties of like the DaBaby albums pitch like that. It's just simple enough within those varieties, but good pitches. Yeah, but definitely throw in some of those club pounders from the 2019 DaBaby albums as well, because they're pretty litty as well within these aspects. Good varieties, but it's a good pitch like that. So Deserve It's a hit type 1. Some of these extra type 1s within pitch, these are more, it's like a sleepy but station kind of commerce and afterthought to kind of get here within these products. Just some Eminem type ponder and like a trap flair about it. This very lit type tune. So this kind of aspects like you would think by Eminem, like songs like Mockingbird, not quite as personal as Mockingbird, but just kind of within pitch as far as talking about some of that relative type variety about it within pitch like that. Just some of those kind of My First Single, Mockingbird, some of that kind of just twinkled, sleepy kind of aspects within tone, just kind of feeling decently baked pitches like that, but kind of missed the ordeal as far as just talking about within the variety kind of amongst it. This kind of aspect as far as saying get some products kind of done with like some trap cruise along as far as those first kind of excellent type pitches. Millie's another litty type ones, like a dazed kind of block sauntering to get and pleasant kind of nothings to have here pitches like that. Just grab like some Bic lighters, couple tacos pitches like that. Not like it has to be a shit ton of tacos, but just a couple. Some of those type fares, just something to take the edge off pitches like that. Just getting extracurricular type fares taken care of, good fares about it. Just spoiling flames along the way pitches like that. It's just figuring out the what to do type vibes. What's eating you type fares. Some of these type pitches, just the aspect of flames kind of just not. Wouldn't be as much full bound where the aspect is kind of in horrid kind of where it's like the gripe as far as it turns into like a horrid kind of sad song pitch like that, but it's kind of variety of just noticing long face type fair pitch like that. Dismiss the aspect, some of those type varieties within it. It's more of like a stretching or blasé type day within the product of this within personal type fashions pitches like this. So this kind of ordeal as far as talking about, yeah, this good dazed typeness, just some of these sleepy type ones, Deserve It, Millie, and No Tears kind of have the product of this kind of commute around pitch like that. Just to miss like kind of personal type fare, but not within pitch as far as like the aspect of this kind of upside downs, this kind of fashion of this more straightening type songs within pitch as far as just the aspect of this kind of getting fast and sensitive products, just keeping the steadfast type flair about a pitch like that. So this wrap ups, if you notice that one of your lighters is half empty, so those type fairs is pitched like that, getting a few extra type ones is coming through, getting like a good orange and purple lighters, so those type fairs is pitched like that. Spare a few, nothing, throw some throwaway money towards a few tacos pitched like that. Just some diva get rights also within those pitches to Friday. So good type fairs about it, but yeah, this kind of dazedness, this kind of aspect, this more block weaving pitch like that, this more on foot type fairs pitches like that, good products about it. Also, I'd probably say this pleasant kind of I'd also say kind of pleasant kind of playing car driftings as well within pitch like that, but just simplistic good fares like that. And then No Tears is a hit type 1. It's like a solid kind of trap makeshift and early bird kind of pandemic like extra thought to kind of get here with No Tears, like a solid kind of trap makeshift and early bird kind of pandemic like extra thought to get here within these products. Just come through music, I'd say. It's definitely like some come through music, I'd say, pitch like that, just kind of pushing some of those type ones. So just the variety of thinking like 2006 type songs, the way Scarface, Bun B, Young Bucks, and stuff, Fairs, Lil Wayne, bunch of folks like that would kind of have these pushing type tunes. Not as much a full bound hustle type song, but just kind of some of those jury type ones. Roddy Ricch was some of those jury type ones, just standard fare, just picking up like Burger King past 7 o'clock p.m. So that pitch when the aspects, varieties like that, miss those pitches. Some of those extra thought type ones kind of have the variety. Just Roddy Ricch is pretty good at songs like this and miss these fares kind of about it. It's just kind of the fare, just looking litty in a vehicle pitch like that, sends that fares within the product, just kind of glam type effect, not as high grade. It's not as capital and 10 out of 10 type grade within pitch as far as talking about. It's not like it couldn't be, but just the fair is talking about not as capital in terms of like the ferocity of like flex type music pitch like that, but it's just kind of ordeal as far as saying just in the aspects as far as talking about. It's kind of the tone as far as just a good assortment of these kind of have like some extracurricular type fair discipline pitch and just extra time that's not so much just full bound like it has to be throwaway, but it just kind of deals with things kind of more with the aspect just whimsical type moments that kind of require like some secondary type thought that maybe is commonplace doesn't happen. So it's this kind of pitch as far as saying that within product, if you don't hit up like a place like Quiznos very often or some of those type places, other places like that, just being able to say like if Papa John's is kind of uncommon, some of those type places, some of those type places, throwing in with the extra type fare, just kind of product, just some of those type moments, just the way that some of these type tunes are going to happen. I think, like I have not purchased a few of these DaBaby type albums, pitches like that, so it's kind of fair. I need to get to some of his type music in terms of purchase type fare, but just being able to say some of those type ones that are just kind of like songs like The Box by Roddy Ricch, but just not quite as like snap worthy in terms of like the catchiness of the single type fare, but just some of those type ones that just feel like extra thought, just probably smoking several type zags or just kind of gonna be cruising along in a vehicle, just getting some shit done all night within the car commerce type fashion pitch like that. So it's just kind of ordeal about it. A few of these within these pairs don't have to be as full bound, like 21, No Tears, some of these type aspects, like Deserve It in certain types sense. Songs like 21, No Tears, Deserve It in certain senses, Million certain senses, well pitched like that don't have to be as full bound as if within that variety as far as talking about within the tear up type fashion, but it's just kind of pitched as far as just notice this extracurricular type pair within notice in vehicle wise type fashions within pitch, where it's kind of variety as far as not as if full bound. I mean, these can become hotbox type songs definitely within pitch, but it's just kind of variety as far as just moments, like I was saying, just within more secondary type thought, just kind of more kind of things that just have more uncommon type territory. So it's good pitch as far as these varieties kind of have them within the tone as far as like that extra type fair about it. They're not as much full bound makeshift type songs either. This is kind of aspect of just some get done in the pitch and just kind of variety. It's good fares kind of within these territories as far as just new type flares, but so this kind of pitch as far as saying that type aspect, the house party and block party, streetlight curb type songs pitched like that are pretty excellent on here. There's a good 3 or 4 of those type ones, then you get a good 3 or 4 within the aspect just like commerce kind of Walmart runs and fill up type songs pitched like that. Just have like some Apple Jacks or Twizzlers, some of these type fares pitched like that, some good nice extra spices pitched like that, red hot sins that first system pitch. And it's not as if it's just, go down the candy aisle and just buy like the whole aisle pitch like that, but this kind of fair is just saying extracurricular type fair, just the aspect of not just like the board type fashion where it just has the aspect of just everyone just kind of on their phones and just bored within the pitches, just like the product like to get along. So this pitch like that is extracurricular type fairs, inserting some type fairs, the fill up type noise, the extra type stuff of having some healthy kind of erranding to kind of take place within these aspects and miss like the time waste of it, just probably past the hours of the lunch rush zone type fairs into like the night type fairs. So just does that, not really like Club Thunder on here, not like that's the problem within pitch like that. So 10 out of 10 album within these pitches, 10 out of 10 album and mixtape within these pitches. Good, excellent fair as far as these pitches can have. The social score, I'm going to go ahead and give it 10 out of 10 as well within these aspects. It did have a couple singles on here within the relative leftover variety. You can find these on the Baby on Baby album from early 2019, pitch like that, some separate deals. But this kind of pitch, it kind of gives you a mixture, like I was saying, within these products. Some of these are kind of more block party type noise, just streetlight curbs type aspects, but then having like burritos and spicy tacos, some of these type aspects within tones, pitches like that, some stuff fares within a variety kind of behind it. The zigzags, Cheez-Its, some stuff fares just miss like gas station runs and weaving. Then there's some ones for like extracurricular type fare, just kind of some Eminem rumination kind of in there, pitches like that, and like a trap sense, just kind of just bleary type day, just aspect like gusty and kind of more brush like kind of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday type fare within pitch of just combining like makeshift type fare, getting some shit done, and then just extracurricular type noise for just like the product of this seldom type activity, just within the project, just coming up with like a healthy palette of things to kind of get done within the aspect of this, kind of within the aspect of doing things, but getting towards the aspect of just having things to kind of keep like busy and kind of being a busier type folk, kind of with the aspect interesting as far as this person. Just kind of that aspect, just having shit to do, but not being a chore or square about it within these pitches as far as aspects come. But it's not. It's just the aspect of having like the extra type fairs, the curricularness, the zigzag sunset products. If you're not drug centric, just things like Applejack sunset fairs, just curriculum about it, good fairs like that. Just paying attention to the aspect as far as saying, paying attention to the flares behind it here. In terms of future, like DaBaby supposedly has a 2026 album that's coming. Within the varieties, I looked it up. It was going to be called that's actually coming out very soon, pretty much within the proximity as far as these first guys. Be More Grateful within pitch like that. So excellent type varieties. It's been since 2022 since he's dropped a solo album pitches like that. But there's plenty of these type ones. He's dropped like collaboration albums, mixtapes, and stuff. There's been some good excellent pitches. He's kept a pretty healthy palette of things amongst these times. It's just unfortunate that the popularity in terms of a casual sense is more deemed within like the aspect of him being like a pandemic rapper. But he's definitely exceeded that within these pitches. Another classic for him. Pretty much every DaBaby product I've reviewed, I've given like at least a 9.5 or above. I think pretty much I'd almost say 3 10s out of 10. I don't remember what I gave like Kirk, but I want to say I gave that a pretty damn high score within those pitches. But the other 2 out of 3 on here, I gave a 10 out of 10. So basically, high scores pretty much across the board for DaBaby pitches like that. Excellent type of deals. Definitely fuck with this mixtape. It's free. Definitely fuck with this mixtape. It's free and very much easily worth the investment. Just without to say.